Are you ready? Are you ready, Rosa, for the Rosetta Stone? Stoned, I am boned and blooded and brained and bodied, embodied, fully embodied. We're talking about I and I re TPP. That's Tantric Practice Partnership. ROR. Rituals of reverence and remembrance and reverberation. You take a deep breath. All these whoop, there goes the microphone just when you need it. Om, 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 om with my Omi. My Omi who's been uneradicated, who's had his eradication reversed. Now he is a potent person in a potent patriarchal paradigm. It's a paradox, I grant you, but maybe it's a placebo or a placenta that he's looking for. My friend, the incense man. My friend, Aaron Hernandez, Bloodmaster, Bluntmaster, business as usual, capitalist, highly invasive, corrosive, corrupt, coke capitalism. It's the real thing, you know. You don't take offense, even if they aren't listening, even if they're typing away, writing in their notebooks while you talk at them. You talk at them as well as you can, but they listen or they don't. It's not under your auspices.
I thought you were talking to
the candid world. Candid camera, you're on. You're on. We're going to start the cat killing ritual very soon. First we cut off the head, then we do the skull. And then every time we have a ritual of remembrance, we remember Dikatsa. Dikatsa. Cats and rats, rodents. Extinction 2112, mark my words, there won't be any semi-sapient, pseudo-sentient eukaryotes around, just cats and rats. Big ones, though. Big ones. I think the rats are going to win. Like the Republicans and the Democrats and the Whigs and the Federalists and the Tea Partyists in Tea-Partite triptych. Teleology. My telomeres are coming up to the end. Telomeres. A telomere is what in your gene makeup tells you when to die.
Is yours coming up?
Mine is coming up. There are just a few more breaths. But I'll extend it if I can. I'll Om with my Omis. Om. Like a fruit fly. Can you hear those fruit flies? They're oming. They don't have any more orange, though. So here's what we do. Us 36, here at Hamlin, at the height of the Holocene Hospice Remembrance, with 2020 hypo hindsight, it will have been obvious in 2014 the trajectory and the epi trajectory to 2112. Negrodamus predicted a long time ago. Yes, Negrodamus predicted that 2112 would be Obama time. It would be the Obamination, the Epi-bomination, Epi-boner-bomination. Bennu, yes, Bennu did. Nu, n'est-ce pas? It's all over. This is the epilogue. This is pancreatic cancer on a global climate holocaustic scale. The Holocene is a hospice at this point. And it's nonlinear. It's unlined. It's blue sky. It's never happened before what's going on now. Can you feel it? Today it starts 85 degrees and 60% humidity. Not too bad, but tomorrow it gets worse. And the day after, worse still. Pretty much we're in a sweat lodge for Gaia. It's a Gaian sweat lodge, and James Ray is presiding. Or Michael Jackson. Or Alice Cooper, if you will. Or Susie Q. Sirhan had nothing to do with it. Building 7 just fell down in its own carbon footprint. Can you imagine that? Whoever did that to Building 7, we ought to get them working on a whole bunch of other buildings. They should just all come down. We're talking about teleological triage in our herbal administration. When I'm precedent, I will give precedence to whoever can deliver us from our own carbon crushing footprint. Wow! Hitting the wow. I'm hitting the wow now. You're so excited. It makes me so happy to see I'm finally getting through to the most boneheaded and pea-brained. But never mind. We're just talking about guys now, alpha males, type A's, Y chromosome. We're talking about the potent potentiate, the potentates who are self-appointed Koch brothers, 1%ers all the way. The world is made for me, is how they think. That is how I've thought since I was born. Favored children, chosen one, firstborn. Can't you see? Can't you see? Bring the fatted cat. Because we're gonna do the ritual. The cat ritual. That's gonna end this. Or at least we'll hyperlink you to the secret, super secret video of the ritual of remembrance. It's happening. It's all happening as we speak. The Holocene Requiem for the Holocene. That's what I was hearing. I was hearing 100 kinds of silences. The silence of the Holocene, 2112. The Holocene will be hard to remember. 6 degrees centigrade is 666. Mark my words to market, or to mark, or to Marx. Organized corporate capitalist crime wave. We're in the crime wave, the final Coke crime wave.
Corporates are trying to slow down global warming.
My boneheaded friend is talking in the background here. You will never see him. You would not want to see him. He is like Elephant Man without the elephant. But he is a true bonehead, a Beavis, a Butthead. He would understand all of them. And yes, you're right. He's wearing a black t-shirt. But never mind. You take a deep breath, if you can, and you feel the B-side of now, here, nowhere. Nothing. Zero is a whole other thing. We're talking about the quantum vacuum. We're talking about the 8-fold origami path and the foreplay and the practice of intention and intuition that'll get you there if you mean well in good faith. Given the benefit of the doubt, you can be grateful for what you have here, now. Feel it, the great fullness. Genug shoin, dayenu.
Can this be a Yiddish free zone?
A Yiddish free zone the bonehead would like. Okay, a Yiddish free zone. What's the matter with the Yiddeniks? The Yiddish is to die for. That's all I can tell you. Yiddish is to die for, and gar nisht is better. Don't be a shyster or a shiksa or a shicker or mit the shit. Can you believe it? Mit the shit might be president again. I can hardly wait. I'm going to have a cardiac arrest. You take a deep breath when you imagine Hillary and Jebish. Jebish the rubbish. I'm going to give it all a kibosh in our herbal administration. Herbie for precedent. That's what this is about. If you'd like to send donations, you may send donations anywhere you'd like.
We trusted Herbie in 2000.
Just Herbie. Just put on the envelope, Herbie. And any cash you have, even change. I'm not proud. I'll take change. PayPal, Bitcoin, derivatives, subprime mortgages. I'll take it all for my campaign. It'll all go. It'll all be tongue-linned. It'll all be reviscerated.
What happened to all the funds that were given to your 2012 campaign?
We're going forward. We look forward. Those funds were invested in kitty litter. But now we've got a better idea. We're doing the ritual of remembrance.
What's that?
The ritual, the first thing you need for the ritual of remembrance is a skull from a cat. And then you put a powder in it. We're not going to talk about the powder, but you put a powder in the skull of a cat. And then You step in your own carbon footprint. And building 7 comes down just like that. It's a miracle. You just focus your energy on the singularity, the Kurzweilian singularity. You just focus your energy on building 7, and it comes down. Zap, Jap, Zaftig, American princess. Whoop! Oh my God, they're after me. Because I don't have that many breaths left. And I have to leave my mark, bird by bird. Take a deep breath. That's my contribution. Take a deep breath. And you can exhale too. I've been reminded that if you take a deep breath, if you're really going to follow through, at some point you have to exhale. With or without vocalization. If you know what I mean. What I mean is that we're talking about vocal coaching here and making your sound fluid, smooth, lubricating the levels of the folds of your orbifold membrane. Your orbifold membrane that vibrates in order to make sound when you blow your breath all the way through. The birds are singing. In 2112, they won't be singing.
Where will they be in
2112, they'll be long gone, just like the buffalo and the sea otters and the beavers.
How about the honeybees?
The honeybees are on their last legs already.
How about the Republicans? Where are they?
The Republicans are going to be in charge of some small part of some heavily weaponized and militarized state that thinks it can save itself at the expense of everybody else. And us 36, because we're here at Hamlin, at the Buddhist Alzheimer's Home for the Hospiceless.
Is it BYOB?
Hospiceless. Just keep that in mind. This is the Holocenic Hospice. We are today at 85 degrees and 60% humidity, getting up into the high zone of global warming. And if we get high enough in the high zone, we might just take off into the blue sky of global climate change. The climate Scientology isn't certain because there's amplificatory paradigms. When all the ice melts, it's going to heat the place up. And then when the place gets heated up, the clathrates are going to start popping and releasing their methane. And the permafrost and the tundra are going to come undone. And when they do, those bacteria that've been sleeping for 100,000 years, they're going to start eating each other.
Good bacteria, right?
Good bacteria and bad bacteria. What's good and bad without humans?
Aren't bacteria herbivores?
Good and bad without humans to judge are just the Holocene and the post-Holocene. The post-Holocene, we're going directly into the Neo-Permian, or the Neo-Eocene, as those of us who are climate cognoscenti will remind you. This is not the PETM. the pterodactyl. Never mind. If you don't know what that means, you should find out. PETM. You could Google it if you want. PetSmart. Oh, that's my bone-headed friend over there from the peanut gallery.
That's the NASDAQ symbol.
The NASDAQ symbol for holocide. The NASDAQ symbol for holocide.
The Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum.
Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum. Exactly what I was talking about.
Occurred about 56 million years ago.
Yep. And this is the Neo-Eocene. Or the Neo-PETM. With the MCHM and the PCBs and the PCRs making GMOs. Derivatives. Aha! There's my cat skull right there, making it sound, making that skull-like catskill sound. We're right here at the Borscht Belt, and the bells are tolling for the last cat.
The bells of St. Mary are calling.
The last cat bells. So, it's unfortunately, how do you grieve a species of which you're a part and of which you're ashamed to be a part of, disgusted? You're suffused with the stink of enlightenment.
I'm suffused with the stink of enlightenment.
You're suffused with the stink of
Is
enlightenment.
that a compliment?
The frankincense and myrrh. You take a deep breath when you don't know where you are. And you let it go. Because you don't have control. You control what you can and you let the rest go. That's what the De Desiderata said. That's what D. Wade said about his contract with LeBron and Chris Bosh. That's what Ortiz and Pedroia said to the Yankees. Damn Yankees. Damn Yankees. 9-5. 5-10. That's what them Yankees going to get. In my herbal administration, all them Yankee fans are going to be shackled and manacled and monocled and manumitted. We're going to free them in the end. But we want the Koch brothers to know how the 99% feel. And particularly the bottom 1% of that 99%. The Koch brothers should know how they live. Just for a year or 2 or 3 or 4. Whatever my team suggests. My team of 36. We're all in it to help you all out. We're going to take over in our herbal administration. We're going to have license to license. We'll be able to kill Americans with drones anywhere in the world for any super secret, super symmetric reason we care to have and write down in secret, heavily redacted, to be revealed 10, 15, 100 years later. Extinction 2112. State secrets. Here's how it's happening. We're right now here with 2020 hypo hindsight. We see how it's going to be, the trajectory of the triage and the terror. Terror in the terroir. And the terrorists are hitting the wow. ISIS and the wow. What should we do? Spend $500 million more to bomb, rape, pillage by proxy. John McCain's going to be on my team. Lindsey Graham.
One of those things that.
And Phil Graham. Phil Graham, how did that work out? That liberating the free fiduciary spirit, the Glass-Steagall Act in 1998 or 9, whenever the hell it was. Banks can own whatever they want. They can arbitrage the contango, whether it be in metals or heavy metals or heavy metal bands or 9-inch nails. It's a full metal jacket of poetry. It's the meta version of the epilogue in the episphere. We go as fast as we can go, us 36. We slow down to half speed to get to where we are. Here again, then again, now and again. You take a deep breath. And all you can smell is that damn incense. And it has that cheap commercial perfumey kind of feel to it. Because some people don't appreciate air freshener. We're going to take a deep breath as best we can. But if we get cancer, it'll be because we deeply breathe this incense, which is disgusting me. But I'm going to work with it because I've been repulsed and revulsed before. And even if it's nauseating to be here with my boneheaded friend and his cat skulls, you didn't see that, but I can assure you that if we had 3 cameras, if you want to contribute to another 2 cameras, you may. You can, for my herbal administration, but he gave me the finger. And for those of you who know what the finger is, you perfect audience, you get it. You get how that is to get the finger from someone you've only given love and understanding to. And you've coached, you've given big bucks coaching for days, weeks on end, just to keep him from fucking up his life. And still he would give you the finger. And the coffee's cold. All right.
Done?
No, we are just beginning. I am all about words. Words. Bird by bird, Yidden words. Narishkeit, Narishkeit. Genug schon, Dayenu, Epis, Chas v'Chalila. This is a Yidden free zone. We've got Lebensraum here. My friend is German. He's a German bonehead. And right now he's wearing a black t-shirt with a little like gold swastika that says KKK on it. You can't see it, and we wouldn't show it because it'd be gross. And he is gross, I must admit, but he is, you should see him in his white robe and his triangle hat that covers everything but his eyes.
Yiddish is verboten.
Verboten. Arbeit macht frei. Jeez, he's begin to throw things. Honey, Hey, honey, go fuck yourself. That's what it says right there. He doesn't get a lot of good feedback. I'm the only one who gives him at all any good feedback for his possibilities. Otherwise, he doesn't know, and I would never tell him, but in the year 2020, he will still be carrying Vendables. That's my prediction. He's made a motion that it's all over for him. Vendables. He's found his niche in life. He's the person who made the world better by supplying it with vendables from overpriced machines. What a fulfilling life that was. This is his eulogy. I'm going to deliver. He doesn't even have to be dead yet, but he will be dead. And here's the eulogy. The eulogy is my boneheaded friend was a bloodsucker and a brain surgeon and body beautiful. He had the most buff body I have ever seen. He used to work out constantly. I'm talking about you. We're working on the eulogy because we want it, by the time it comes around, we want to have practiced a lot. It helps to practice. Eulogies in particular. I'm going to do the eulogy for the Holocene. It's heavy lifting. The Holocene is heavy lifting. And us 36, we know the epignosis. We grok it. Thank you. That's good. We come from where we've been. And then we have these moments where we wake up in time. And it's timeless, these moments. It's a kind of Hinayana Mahayana, Democrat, Republican, Romeo and Juliet, Red Sox, Yankees kind of thing. It's Jebish against Hillary. It's Mitt the Shit against Obama.
Who are you going to vote for?
I'm going to vote for Obama again. I think he's finally getting it. I'm going to vote for Ralph Nader. Ralph Nader was good. I voted for Cynthia McKinnon. And I voted for that Swift boater guy. Remember him? The one who manned up. He manned up. He was the Mitt the Shit. Look at the most uninteresting Massachusetts. People from the rest of the country are going to think that we're zombies in Massachusetts. We've given the national stage Kerry and Shit the Mitt. Mitt and Drinnan. Chas v'chalila. We've given them the worst of us. Kerry and Romney. Romney who keeps his money where his mouth is in the Cayman Islands. I get a little excited by Romney. He's the kind of guy who excites me. I'm not going to get into that just now because that's a different training. It's a training in bisexuality. We're all bisexuals. And that in our herbal administration, we will make bisexuality mandatory. It's mandatory bisexuality. What do you think? It's like the beginning of my platform. And you know what the first item on my platform is? I'm going to clean up my room. We've got our doubters. But that's okay. Obama had his doubters too. And you know what he said? He said, yes, we can. And you know what I say? Yes, we can.
It's just breaking news right now.
Breaking news.
Obamacare's contraceptive mandate goes too far. The Supreme Court has ruled.
Too far with the contraceptives.
Also, second story,
Unions
unions can't force non-members to pay.
can't force non-members to pay. Koch 1% master narrative, official story, reality. You've heard it. Breaking news. It makes me sad. It's a little bit like being the Poetaster Laureate for a species of zombies led by the Kerry Romney forces. The Kerry Romney forces rule the world. And the Koch, Adelson, and Madoff. And Sandusky. Don't forget Jerry. In our herbal, you don't want to hear this, but in our herbal administration, we're going to pardon Jerry Sandusky and OJ. I'm just telling you, you should know what to expect if we get elected. Give me license to license, and I will save the planet.
You know what the next 2 words I want to hear you say is?
What?
In closing.
In closing, we're going to have enclosure acts, and we're going to enclose all the Koch and the 1%'s property. We'll just take it away and redistribute it. And those 1%ers will have the experience that we 99%ers have, only in reverse. And when they're sadder and wiser, we'll let them go. And they can make their way since they're so brilliant. They can make their way. After a year or 2 or 3, we'll give them the same stake that those people getting out of jail get. What is that? Do they give them $25 or $35?
40 acres.
40 acres and a mules we'll give them. 40 acres and a mules. That's good. In Bluffdale. We'll give them Bluffdale. And they can start a search business, a storage business. There's a lot of storage in Bluffdale. They'll start a storage business. And according to Moore's law, there'll be that much more data, so we'll need storage facilities. Like we'll have storage facilities in Yucca Mountain. Drink your Fukushima Kool-Aid. You perfect audience. Because we're here to tell you, in closing, wrap it up, cut it down, take a deep breath. Om. Practice intention and intuition, my friends. Mean well. You, I give you the benefit of the doubt in good faith. Grateful. Start there. Start here. Feel the grateful. Dayenu. Genug schon. Lebensraum. Judenrein. Yiddish is verboten. Die Scheiße nicht glanz. Auch wenn sie sich poliert. Gemahlzeit. Achtung!
Say goodbye.
Say Achtung! Achtung, baby! Achtung! We're going to get the metadata. We're going to get the metadata, and then we're going to get the weed whacker. We're going to hit the wow today. Whoa! Can you hear that? It's the wailing winds. Yikes! It's like he's churning up the pavement.
Yeah. Isn't that great? Are you churning up
It's
the...
that pink t-shirt. Makes me wanna, I'm not gonna tell you what it makes me wanna do. It makes me wanna, I'm gonna think twice about bisexuality. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna talk about what my preferences are, because that might prejudice you. But, here we go. I think he's weed whacking the swamp. Yikes. Makes you want to take a deep breath, doesn't it? It never works out the way you want it. You make up these t-shirts, these trademark triage t-shirts, and the whole teleology of them has to do with weed-whacking warware. We witnesses and whisperers of Extinction 2112. We of the pink t-shirt and the low T and the dyserectile functioning. But we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into when you can get it up and when you can't. Because that's Ebola. Ebola. It's Yebola.
E. coli.
It's Yebola and E. coli.
Diet
Diet E.
E. coli.
cola. E. cola. Ye Coke-Cola. That's what we're doing. We're having processed Coca-Cola. Cacophony. We're having a catalytic converter of the Coke master narrative, official story, 1%. It goes further and further away, this 2020 hypo hindsight. I'm seeing it clearly, that moment when the weed whackers are no more. That moment when all you hear is the birds sing and the wind whistle. It's not right now. I can tell you that. Kind of makes me sad that this isn't a clean and sober video. But we're going to have background noises. Life is full of circularity. You circle around the stupa day to day, weed whacking, putting on your pink t-shirt, looking after your big belly, your business as usual capitalist bardo. This is mine. It's safe here if I just whack enough weeds. The safety of weed whacking and nose picking and crotch scratching and boogers. I bet he eats his boogers. The pink t-shirt eating boogers. With his weed whacker, multitasking. It's Mitt. I recognized him. That was Mitt in the pink t-shirt. Mitt, and oh no, I can't believe it. Carrie's there too, in a swift boat. Those were the days. If he only manned up, John could have won. Just think, George Bush Jr., the nebbish, whose daddy got him out of Vietnam.
He guarded the skies in America.
He whacked out. He was low T when it came to serving in Vietnam. He had erectile dysfunction and he needed Cheney. My vice president's going to be OJ. We'll pardon him and then he can be vice president. Or Biden maybe. We'll have Biden again for continuity. I don't believe it. Or Obama. I'm going to offer Obama the vice presidency. He'll be very helpful and credible as a vice president. He would have made a much better vice president. I tell you that, bonehead. He would have made a much better vice president than a president. I'm here to tell you, he would have been a good vice presidential guy. A kind of Al Gore-ish, kind of algorithmic figure. Al Gore wrote in Rolling Stone that it looks good for saving the planet. Solar power is going down in price. Anybody selling solar panels will make a fortune. Ratchet it up. You can be a wrangler or a roustabout on a deep horizon well rig. Because there are no fetters to unfettered, unregulated well drilling. Now that BP just paid a fine. And Tony Haywood's not in jail for killing those 11 people. Tony Haywood drove the getaway car for 11 deaths on the Deep Horizon well. Cost cutting on the safety standards, caught flat-footed and fossil-fueled and false flagged, wrapped in the false flag. You hear that, bonehead? Who's Tony Haywood? BP, president. I say no more.
They didn't take full responsibility?
Like the yes men said about Union Carbide and Bhopal, that was a great yes man endeavor. Being the PR people for Union Carbide and taking full responsibility for the murder that Union Carbide did under Warren Anderson's, the Jerry Sandusky of corporate CEOs. Warren Anderson is the Jerry Sandusky with a little Bernie Madoff.
Warren Anderson was scared he wouldn't get a fair trial.
Warren Anderson was scared he wouldn't get a fair trial. And he hasn't. He hasn't gotten any trial, but he should.
Well,
He should.
no trial is better than the unfair one.
No trial is better than none. And it just encourages him to keep doing what he does, like it encourages Tony Haywood. Business as usual, bogus memoirs. Mit the shit may run again. Mitten drinnen. I'm taking a deep breath because it'd be funny. This Coke 1% master narrative official story, Keystone XL pipeline to paranoid paradigms and 6 degrees centigrade is 666. And it's happening. It's happening. I'm taking a deep breath because it's sad. It could be avoided with 2020 hypo hindsight, us 36 with license to license, and shoot down with drones the 1% fiduciary terrorists. We'll shoot them out of their Goldman Sachs offices. We'll shoot them on the Wall Street subways. We'll shoot them where they lie. The terrorists. will take the terrorism down a notch. Here we go. Om. And we'll give them a chance. We'll send, in my herbal administration, we'll send them to re-education camps. And their work will make them free. Their MERS and their Ebola fiduciary work will make them free. And they're spreading it. They're spreading the virus and the gigaviruses. And they're changing the habitats. And they're allowing the mosquitoes to go where they never gone before. And Ebola and hantavirus and rotavirus and HIV positive. There are lots of positive forcings taking us to the Hansen transition, trance. Here we are, Keystone XL, the nail in the coffin. And Entbridge trying to get to the West Coast to sell their tar sands, their dirty oil, because they're going to take them on railroad cars that have state secret bills of lading. And Osama couldn't have figured that out better. Warren Anderson was a fiduciary Osama, as was Jamie Dimon and the London Whale. $6 billion they stole from the economy. And the Flash Boys keep flashing with their hot, flush, liberated, ISDA fixated Bitcoin derivatives. And it's the 50th reunion. It's 1491, and we're all indigenous now. And all them immigrants who trying to break down the boundaries, will criminalize them and weaponize the borders. So 52,000 children living in conditions so terrible that their mothers, mainly mothers, but sometimes mothers and fathers, mainly mothers, mainly poor, say, give it a shot, 9-year-old, 5-year-old, 12-year-old. Give it a shot, because if you stay here, the gangs and the super predators, there's not enough to eat for all of us. And there's no prospect of us getting enough to eat. So it's like you went to America and had to take a job selling vendables. It's almost that bad. It's almost as if you were born an American weed whacker and you started whispering to yourself paranoid paradigms of patriarchy and patrician petrochemicals. And the narco dollars keep flowing because the cartels pay the gangs, and the gangs pay the politicians, and the politicians pay the narco-corridans and the CEOs of fossil fuels, febrile, Americano democracy. Make mine Americano. Why don't you close the window? We'll see. That helps. That helps a little bit. But never mind. They'll work through it. Because they'll see that although mostly it's bullshit, there are enough nuggets about the hospice in the Holocene. There's enough nuggets so that it'll happen. It'll happen. Slowly but surely, the perfect audience will find their way to the euthanistic episphere, where they'll be enclosed in a certain cipher-spheric realization. And they'll get it that even here in cyberspace, it's safe. Extinction 2112 will wipe the coats from the face of the earth. And their minions, their 1% minions and their Schaffordesca, their SS, and their lumpen proletariat, Bukharin and Mizrahi Zionists, without the Zion, without the protocols, without the chutzpahdik, Talmudic, Milchadik, low-T Christi, cone-moving formulas for fossil fueling the future. Bromides of business as usual. It's a bardo out there, and it's going to be hot and humid and hubristic out there, and they're not going to make the connection except for the perfect audience, and they're going to apologize. And I'm apologizing on behalf of all us eukaryotic, semi-sapient, pseudo-sentient, stupid Kopf, Stupnagels, Schwanzes and Stuppers, Schicksers and Scheisters, Schlumpers and Schleppers in the Shtetl. They're shrouded with Shticklich, Geheimat, Gehinon, Gamaitrei. You do the numbers. You circle around the stupa. You take a deep breath. Oh.